Kia ora everyone, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to discuss my favorite things about New Zealand. So generally things that I miss when I go overseas or live in different places. So first of all is the fact that it's very clean. You basically never see rubbish at all out, on the ground, on the floor, whatever. Like, I think everybody is generally quite eco-friendly and, conscious of protecting the environment. I was quite impressed when I came back and I went to the supermarket and I noticed that we don't really have plastic bags at all anymore. Like, all of the fruits, all of the vegetables are pretty much loose. They're just, nothing's packed in plastic, and even when you want to like buy fruit or buy vegetables, you have to use paper bags now. Like, there's basically no plastic at all, which is awesome. Also, like, just how we sort our waste, like everybody has a recycling bin, everybody has a compost now, although not everyone uses it. It's really cool to see that like change. And I remember even in school, like, we got taught, you pick up your rubbish, you look after the environment, and I think generally like it's in the culture to to do that. So yeah, it's really nice. Another thing is that I find people are very just down to earth. People are very chill, very friendly in general. And they don't really care too much about like what you're wearing, what I don't know, like what car you're driving, what's your job. Like, it's not a very materialistic society, which is awesome. Like, that's definitely what I prefer. On the other hand, I feel like if you, for example, if you're dressed too well, people always like look down on you because it's like, whoa, like, where you off to, mate? Like, sometimes that can be a con as well, because if you're doing too well or if you have too much, people are also thinking like, why you got all this, like, what are you trying to show off? But yeah, in general, I do think it's a good thing. I think that people are down to earth and generally quite friendly. Another point is the nature. This is obviously, I think, one of the best parts, if not the best part about New Zealand. Yeah, the nature is just stunning. It's beautiful. It's very green. I think that, yeah, there's so much nature everywhere. We are generally pretty close to the sea. I'm very lucky. My house is super close to the beach, which is amazing. Generally, there's always trees around. There's always green, even in the city. In Auckland, you're never too far away from nature, which is awesome. And also, like, most of it is free. A lot of like national parks, yeah, general spaces, outdoor spaces, which is all free, and is looked after quite well. And I think, yeah, people generally appreciate the outdoors. We like to do, sports, go out and just appreciate nature, which I think is really cool. Another point on that is the amount of space. So obviously New Zealand is not a very densely populated place. So yeah, in general, there's just not that many people. And I think this allows us to have a lot more space, not only in housing, for example. We don't really have super high rises. Like, everybody kind of has, their own house. And yeah, you have your own garden, you have like just a decent amount of space. Even when you go out, the streets, they're very wide, and the stores are pretty big as well. I've never felt like squished or like claustrophobic when I go out anywhere. Another thing is the safety, of course. So again, like, obviously crimes do happen, and there's, some areas are safer than other areas, but in general, like, when I'm out in New Zealand, I don't have to worry about, someone trying to like pickpocket me, someone trying to like, hurt me. Really, my life is not in danger, So yeah, I think that's really cool, and definitely something I do not take for granted. Another point is that the weather is never really too hot or too cold either. I think this is nice because I remember being in other places where, summer was like 40 degrees, it was super hot, super humid, and you couldn't really even go out. Whereas I feel like in New Zealand, even on like the warmest day, you can still go out. Maybe not, you're not in the sun, maybe you want to stay in the shade, but yeah, there's never really a point of the year where I'm like, it's so hot, I can't, I have to stay home, and I need, like, we don't really need air conditioning or fans or anything like that, because the weather is generally pretty temperate, I would say. Another point is, so this is specifically compared to Japan, but in Japan the days are quite short. And I remember coming back here in New Zealand and it's summer, and like, even at 8:30 and 9 o'clock it's still bright, which is like really cool. Obviously I know in Europe, like, it's even longer. Sometimes, there's countries where the sun is like out until midnight, but yeah, compared to like Japan, I feel like it's pretty nice. We have, decent days in summer, and even in winter as well. Like, the sunset doesn't end that early. Like, it doesn't get dark at like 3 or 4, like other places. And the last point is the diversity, and I feel like it's a pretty good mix of cultures. Again, this can definitely depend on where you are, but I think I'm very lucky to be from Auckland, which is a bigger city, but it's also super diverse. There's there's just so many different cultures, and you can be from any country and you don't really feel like out of place because there's just so many immigrants, so many people from all around the world. So I think that's really cool to see, and generally people are pretty accepting and generally pretty interested in other cultures and learning about different things. And yeah, I feel like people are just more open-minded. I know that obviously racism still exists, like I can't deny that, but yeah, in general, I think the bigger cities are quite multicultural, and you do see yeah, a pretty good mix here. People are generally quite tolerant. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next one.